Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Healthy Living Happy Midlife. I'm Denise Stegall. I am your host, and I am the Menopause Mentor. So today is a little different for me. So over the weekend, I was going through my bookshelf and I came across the book, The Four Agreements, which apparently is still upstairs on my bookshelf. And I remember reading the book years ago, but for whatever reason, I couldn't remember what the fourth agreement was. So I decided that I should reread the book. And in doing so, I looked at the four agreements in a very different perspective of a midlife woman who has gone through menopause, right? And it's really interesting. It really kind of hit me how this really resonated. So the book, The Four Agreements, was written by Don Miguel Ruiz, and I don't even know how many years ago. Now, the goal of that book is to give you a path towards freedom in your life. It's powerful. The Four Agreements are quite simple. They're life-changing. When I reread it, though, it was so interesting how those four agreements, and we will talk about them, were not just about personal freedom in general. They actually were a roadmap for those of us in the menopause transition. And one of the things I've learned through 17 years, yes, 17 years of navigating through this transition, both personally and as the menopause mentor, working with women, menopause isn't just a physical shift, it's also a leadership challenge, it's a personal relationship challenge. And most of us are trying to lead ourselves through this menopause transition using strategies that just don't work anymore. Now, some of them, dieting, for example, may have worked when you were in your 20s, even your early 30s. That hasn't worked for a long time, my friends. So today I am going to walk you through the four agreements for menopause. And I promise you, by the end of this episode, you're going to see this transition a little bit differently and how you can navigate it in a way that's best for you. Not as something that happens to you, but as something you truly can experience with clarity, with confidence, and intention. So let's dive in, shall we? Okay, so let me paint a picture for you. I got my easel out, my painting. So I'm painting for you this morning, okay? You wake up one morning and you realize that finally you realize your body has rewritten the playbook that you've been using for all these years, right? No warning, no negotiation. There was none of that, no signing of new contracts. But there are these new rules that apply to you that you never agreed to. Nobody told you about them. Nobody warned you. Okay, right? So these strategies that we use to build our careers, they're failing you now, right? The discipline that you have used to shape your life, it's just not enough anymore. Or it's just too overwhelming. The body that you've lived in for decades, five of them, four of them, five of them, pushing six of them, it's totally speaking a language that you do not recognize. And what nobody tells you, the hardest part isn't the hot flashes, the weight gain, or the brain fog, though they are no picnic either. But it's the loss of trust that you have in yourself. Because when our body stops responding the way that it used to, you start questioning everything, your choices, your capacity, your worth. I mean, how many of you listening have thought, what is wrong with me? Why can't I figure this out? Why are all the things that I've done in the past, why aren't they working anymore? I should be able to do this. Well, let me tell you, you are certainly not alone, my friends. But here's something that is really important. This isn't about a breakdown of your past body, yourself, your you, it's actually an invitation. Now, hear me out on that one. It's an invitation to stop performing and start leading yourself with intention. We've spent our entire lives performing for others. This is about leading yourself in a way that aligns with you. And this is where the four agreements comes in. Okay, so agreement number one, be impeccable with your word. Now, I know I didn't pick those out because those are probably not words that I would have chosen. Those are the words directly from the book that Don Miguel Ruiz has written or had written, right? Now, be impeccable with your word, especially with the promises that you make to yourself. This is where everything begins. Everything's fresh. Because in this stage of life, no matter where you are in this transition, so many women I hear say, I just want to feel better. Like, I need to get my energy back. I just want to feel like myself again. But then life gets in the way, overwhelm takes over, and the words, they just stay words. There's no action. And I'm not saying that there's no discipline, that you don't have the discipline, that you don't lack discipline. That's not it at all, right? It's that now you're navigating this body with totally new rules that you just don't understand, right? My mom is learning how to play mahjong, and she would talk about it the other day. I don't know what the rules are, so I would have absolutely no idea if I sat down and with a bunch of ladies who knew what was going on. I wouldn't know what to do, how to do it, what the rules were, anything, right? This is a new language, new program, new game, right? But the truth about what nobody wants to think about, we're talking about this a little bit more, but really, people don't say this enough. Every time you say you want something and then you don't follow through, you're quietly eroding your trust with yourself, right? Losing self-trust. And it's more exhausting, it's more disappointing than any symptom that you may be experiencing. So let me give you an example. You buy the supplement that everybody's talking about. Pick a day, there's a new one, right? But it sits in your cabinet for 3 months. Hey, I've done it too. So I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm just saying I've done this, I've experienced it. So that's why I'm here to help you. So you buy the supplement, it sits in the cabinet. 3 months go by, 4 months go by. You can't wait to take it. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to take it, with food, but it's in your bathroom cabinet. So you don't take it, right? You say to yourself, I'm going to go to bed earlier tonight. I'm not going to stay up till midnight scrolling on my phone or, watching some TV program that's going to give me nightmares. I don't watch those very often, but occasionally there's a commercial about a scary movie and that gives me nightmares. Or you tell yourself, I'm going to schedule that doctor's appointment or that dentist appointment or that whatever, right? And then weeks go by. Now, maybe these things aren't that big, are they? But they start to add up one by one. Because every time you break a promise to yourself, even those little ones, you're sending a signal to your nervous system. I don't trust myself. I can't count on me. I don't matter. And your body actually responds to that. So being impeccable with your word now means something different than it did when you were 30. Okay, being impeccable with your word when you were 30, might have been the way you talk to your kids, the promises you make to your parents, your children, your co-workers, right? Now it means keeping small commitments, even the ones that nobody sees. My morning coffee, sitting outside when the weather's nice, sees me do that. That's something I do for me. And I love those mornings, right? Again, taking the supplement that you bought, going to bed early. When your body, or going to bed, not just early, but when your body actually is telling you, I need sleep, I need rest, not when your to-do list allows. How many of you have stayed up fussing around your house because there was more to do on the checklist. Stop it. The checklist will be there tomorrow. Right? Again, scheduling that appointment. Maybe that appointment is having lunch with a friend who you haven't seen in a year. Right? Choosing a meal that nourishes your body instead of one that's just convenient. We've all done it, but it's not about perfection. It's about a pattern. Because every time you say or you do what you say you're going to do, even those little things, you're building momentum or rebuilding momentum in your body. You're rebuilding trust. And your body responds to that too. Maybe not overnight, but consistently, you'll start to notice, right? This is how you lead yourself back to the person you want to be, to your core, to the person in your heart of hearts you know you are, but may not be acting that way or feel that way right now. Okay, agreement number 2. Personally. Okay. This is a tough one, right? Especially when you feel like your body is betraying you. Now, keep in mind, you don't want to take things personally with people, but this is about you, right? Your body's not betraying you. It's communicating with you. And let me just say, this was a tough one for me, right? Because I was always the person, I do everything right. I eat clean. I exercise, 5, 6 days a week. I have a hard time taking a day off, right? I manage my stress quite well. I have a journaling practice, a gratitude practice. I go out in nature, do all the things. I did all the things, right? But still, my weight was climbing at one point, right? Your sleep gets messed up. Um, and your brain feels like when your computer is just kind of like spinning, like it's buffering, and it's just kind of like, okay, I'm waiting for my brain to work now. I'm waiting for my brain to work work now, right? And so it's easy to think to yourself, what am I doing wrong? But I need you to stop right there because this is not a moral failure. You're not doing anything wrong. This is your biology. Your hormones are shifting. Your metabolism is, say, recalibrating. Your brain chemistry is adjusting. As our estrogen and progesterone decline, the protective elements that, especially estrogen, have for your brain is declining too. So yeah, that's why we notice like our brain, we're just not thinking the way we used to, right? So things are adjusting. The strategies obviously that worked before when you were 100% with your hormones, that's not going to work anymore, right? They're not designed for this phase of life. Okay. And again, I'm not putting any blame on anything. It's just the truth, right? Your body is meant to do something different in midlife and beyond, right? And so, of course, this is where things can get a little tricky, right? Again, um, the whole point is don't take anything personally. But when this happened to me, when your husband, spouse, BFF says to you, you seem a little different lately. Something's off with you. When your colleague asks, are you okay? Or you catch yourself snapping on someone you love, snapping at someone you love, right? This hurt. This stings. I remember when my husband said that to me, and he said it with so much love in his heart and in his emotion. Denise, something's going on with you that we have to figure it out. So this is something that's really important to hear. They're not wrong. And neither are you. Hormone changes affect your mood, your patience, and your emotional bandwidth. Right? A lot of times people around you notice it before you even do. I thought I was handling it. I felt this inner rage. I was like, I just always wanted to snap at somebody. But I thought I was managing that. Yeah, apparently I wasn't. Right? So instead of taking it personally, right? Instead of spiraling into shame and defensiveness or craziness, right? What if you just receive this as it was intended? Loving information. What if it's just your body saying, hey, something's off. Let's look at this. Like my husband did for me. Something's going on. Let's take a look at this. Right? Really, my initial reaction was to get defensive, but then I realized that he was right. I hadn't been feeling like myself. And I wasn't being honest with myself, right? This wasn't about criticism. He wasn't criticizing me for, I'm a bad person. It was actually he cared, right? And because ignoring signs doesn't protect you, right? It just delays how you can return to feeling like yourself again, right? Your body's not betraying you. It's asking you to pay attention. So when you stop taking these things personally, you can actually start taking them seriously. So let's move on to agreement number 3. Don't make assumptions. Now, just in life, that is such an amazing, positive concept that is life changing. I have somebody in my life who assumes everything. Well, I just thought that, you would blah, blah, blah. Or, well, I just assumed that. No, don't assume anything when it comes to yourself, with other people, but most importantly, with yourself, right? And especially when it comes to your health, because you can live through menopause not paying attention, but your health will negatively be affected. As you pay more attention to this, your health, your lifestyle, longevity, your vitality can only benefit for paying attention, right? This is where women lose years, right? They assume that they should be able to handle this on their own. They assume that this is just a phase, it'll pass, because that's what we've been told by our doctors, by our parents, by our mothers, by our grandmothers, by society. It's just a change. It'll go away. It doesn't go away, right? Same thing that I'm going back to that supplement that everybody is raving about. That's going to work for me too. Don't know what's in it. Don't know why it would work if you have 6 things going on and it's going to promise, the earth, the moon, the stars, that it's going to fix everything in one magic pill. I don't know about that. So think about this. In reality, perimenopause, which is the start of our menopause transition, can last 4 to 10 years. Let's see, how long did mine last? So mine actually lasted longer than 10 years. Thank you very much, biology, right? My biology. Menopause, the menopause year, that brings different changes. And then post menopause, when you're the day after your menopause, the day after the 12th month anniversary of your last menstrual cycle, that's called menopause, that one day. The next day, you're postmenopausal. And that actually brings a set of changes that are unique changes, right? And everybody's experience is different. What I'm experiencing is not what my sister is experiencing, what my best friend is experiencing, right? And this is not something that you have to push through. This is something that you navigate with information, strategy, and support, right? However, we're drowning in the noise, right? Social media tells us, try this herb. Your friend swears by this diet. Some influencer promises results in 30 days. And you look at her and you're thinking, well, you're 30. How are you going to help me? I'm 55. Doesn't make sense, right? The thing that I love is, the one magic pill product is not going to solve a multi-system shift, right? Think about it. Your hormones are changing. Metabolism is changing. Your sleep architecture is changing. Your stress response is changing. Brain chemistry is changing. I can continue. And this is all happening at one time. So you don't need more guesswork. You don't need another trending solution. Stop like looking at all of the shiny objects and the products that promise everything in one pill. Please stop looking at those and start paying attention, because what you need is clarity, right? You need to understand what's actually happening in your body, not on someone's Instagram story. Okay, I'll give you an example. I had a client who spent 2 years trying I love it. Every supplement she saw online. And I feel for her because I feel like my job as the menopause mentor is to try a lot of these products just to see how I felt on that product and what it did and how I experienced it, right? So I really felt for her. And she did it all. She did the ashwagandha, the matcha root, the black cohosh, magnesium, vitamin D, all kind of separately because that's what she was told. Oh, ashwagandha is great for this. Maca root, black cohosh. We've known for very many years that black cohosh is supposed to help with flashes, right? But you don't just take black cohosh. You have to take other stuff along with it, right? The one thing is not going to, maybe it'll help with hot flashes, but it's not going to help you sleep any better. It's not going to help you manage your stress, right? Magnesium is great. Vitamin D, best way to get vitamin D, go out in the sun. Yet everyone is pushing vitamin D supplements. Yes, if you are depleted in vitamin D, those supplements are great. The best way to get it is to go out. They don't talk about that because they're trying to give you the supplement. And like I said, I have supplements that I use. I have a protocol that I follow from a traditionally trained OBGYN and functional medicine doctor. And yeah, I take several at a time. Sometimes I take more, sometimes I take less, depending on what's going on in my body at that time. Right. So anyway, so this client, she tried everything. But what she would do is she would try one for a month, she'd get a month supply, maybe she'd get two, she wouldn't see any results. And so she would try the next one. Right. And we know it takes at least 3 months in order to figure out, what is this doing? Is this really working? So every month changing, because, oh, I didn't feel any different is not helping. Right. So when we finally actually sat down and looked at what was happening in her body with, her specific symptoms, her hormone patterns, her lifestyle factors, right? We we realized that she realized, I knew this, she realized that she needed a completely different approach. Like all this one-off stuff was not helping, and it was actually giving her more stress, right? So she took the menopause hormone clarity tool assessment, understood what was going on, and we created a plan. So within weeks, guess what? She started to feel better, right? Not because she found some magic pill, but because she stopped assuming and started knowing. Because assumptions keep you stuck in trial and error. Clarity, on the other hand, gives you a path forward. And the women who thrive through this transition, they're not the ones who assume they can figure it out alone. They're the ones who get informed, get support, and get strategic. Stop assuming, my dear ladies. Start knowing. So to the final agreement number 4, always do your best. If that's not a mantra to live by, I don't know what is. But truly, your best begins with understanding your body throughout menopause. You can't do your best if you don't feel your best. And you can't feel your best if you don't understand what the heck is going on in the first place. So let me be clear about this, okay? It's not about trying harder. It's never about trying harder. You've done that your whole life, right? We did the struggle, we did the career, we did all that. This is about becoming informed. Because when you understand your body and how menopause hormonal changes affects your brain and focus, your mood and emotional resilience, sleep and recovery, metabolism and body composition. Yes, because of menopause, your body looks different. The way your body holds fat now is different, but also your energy, your stamina, bladder control. That's a thing, ladies, and muscle health, bone health. We can continue. There's a ton more, but you get my point here, right? This is time to stop blaming yourself and stop feeling like you're broken. Okay. You just need to start making decisions that actually work. And the best decision now isn't about doing more, it's about doing differently. It's probably not a perfect sentence there, but you get my gist. So what does that mean? It means eating for hormonal balance, not calorie restriction. Goodbye, calories in, calories out. Okay. Moving in a way that supports your nervous system, not exhaust it, right? The hours of cardio at the gym, those are not for us anymore, right? Sleeping like your life depends on it. Actually, because your health does actually depend on it, right? And managing your stress before it manages you. And when you understand your body, you make better choices, right? You make better choices, everything starts to shift. Energy returns. Your confidence rebuilds. You rebuild your confidence. Your sense of control comes back. And you stop feeling like you're fighting yourself all the time. I've been doing this for 17 years. Yes, I have been going through this transition for 17 years. And guess what? I will be continuing through the rest of my life, right? Postmenopause is a thing too, ladies, right? And I can tell you the women who transform from through menopause, um, really transform aren't the ones who have it easier. It's not easy. They're the ones who get informed, get strategic, and stop guessing. More importantly, to start knowing. So, the truth in all this, where women kind of miss the mark through the menopause transition, is this menopause is not the end of who you were, right? It's the evolution of who you are becoming. And evolution doesn't happen by accident, or at least this type of evolution doesn't happen by accident, right? It requires awareness, intention, and it requires, most importantly, action. You can have all the information in the world. If you do nothing with it, it will not help you, right? If you keep guessing, if you keep pushing through, you stay stuck in frustration and self blame. And you'll be exactly where you are in a year from now, tired, disconnected, wondering why nothing works. However, if you choose differently, choose clarity over confusion. Hello, I love that idea. Choose strategy over struggle. Everything then changes. So here's what I want you to do. Okay. Call to action. This is the action piece, everyone. I created the menopause hormone clarity tool. It's a comprehensive self assessment that helps you to connect the dots between your symptoms and what's happening hormonally in your body. Okay. No guessing, no generic advice, clear, personalized insights that show you exactly where to focus. Okay. The link to the clarity tool is in the show notes. And truly, this is your starting point. From today on, you have no excuse. You have a tool that can help you understand what's going on in your body, right? It shows what's happening. It gives you a clear path forward, and it helps you stop spinning your wheels so you can actually start leading yourself again towards the place that you want to be in your health, physical, mental, emotional, all of those, right? You've spent decades showing up for everyone else ad nauseum sometimes, right? Now it's time to show up for yourself with clarity, confidence, and a plan that works. You don't need to be who you were. Nobody needs to go back. We never go forward. We never go backward. We only go forward, right? You're here to be stronger, wiser, and more aligned than ever before. When you live the 4 agreements for this season of life, you don't just survive menopause, you rise through it and on your terms. Okay, that's what I have for today's episode for everyone. If this resonated with you, I'd really love to hear from you. Send me a message, leave a review, share with a friend who needs to hear this. And remember this, you're not broken, you're not failing, you're navigating a transition that nobody prepared you for. Menopause is not your end, it's your evolution. Thanks, everyone. I will see you next week, same time, Wednesdays, 12 p.m. Pacific time. We go live. I will see you then. Have a great week. I'll leave you with this: healthy living, happy midlife. Take care. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Healthy Living Happy Midlife. My hope is that today's conversation left you inspired, encouraged, and ready to take the next step toward creating a vibrant, fulfilling life that you deserve. Remember, you don't have to settle for fatigue, brain fog, or frustration. Midlife is not the end of your story. It's the doorway to your next best chapter. And I'm here to help you walk through it with energy, with confidence, and with joy. So if you're ready to take this journey further, I invite you to schedule a free strategy call with me. The link is in the show notes. And together we'll design a plan that works for you at this time in your life, for your body. So be sure to subscribe, rate, and review your show, the show on your favorite podcast platform. Catch the video version on YouTube so you never miss another episode. Share it with a friend who needs to hear that midlife can truly be the most powerful season of her life. Until next time, I'm Denise Stegall, reminding you that healthy living, happy midlife is just possible. It's yours for the